consider the question whether the theist actually does get his morality from his religion. Let's consider what morality is. If we believe something to be good, if we truly believe an act to be moral, shouldn't we feel compelled to perform that act? If we believe something to be good, shouldn't we have a tendency to go out and promote it? This is a very intuitive feeling and claim which I think cuts to the heart of what most of us believe morality is. Let's examine this, shall we? Where do some theists claim they get their morality from? They say they get it from their religion. They say they get it from their holy texts. Does the Christian, or the Muslim, or the Jew, really feel compelled to act upon the objective set of rules that has been handed down to him? Now, I'm going to take a moderately easy target simply because I know a bit more about it than the others. However, please note that similar rules crop up in all the major religions, and this argument could in fact be made on the basis of very uncontroversial rules. Let's look at Christianity, and let's look at some of the rules that it says you should follow. I'm going to refer to the book of Leviticus. Homosexuals should be stoned, you shouldn't wear clothing of two different fibers, women who commit adultery should be stoned, or even have sex out of wedlock should be stoned. So, does the Christian feel compelled to follow these rules? Does he feel compelled to stone homosexuals? Does he feel compelled to stone adulterers? Does he feel compelled not to wear clothing of two different fibers? I think the obvious answer is, well, the obvious answer for most Christians is no, you don't. Now, there's a criticism to be made of this argument, and I'll address that in a minute. But let's first consider why you don't feel compelled to. You feel compelled to because you think there's something intuitively wrong about stoning someone to death. You think there's something insignificant about wearing clothing of two different fibers. You don't really feel this connection to these moral rules that you're being handed down. Now, the criticism that I will obviously face from some Christians is that, well, those rules were appropriate to their time, they don't count now, because they're just silly, you can follow them in the modern day world. And my question is, why? Why do you feel justified in dismissing these rules? If they are your direct revelation, and to be honest, these are rules that really can't be taken figuratively, they're very precise, why do you feel that you can discard these rules? Why is it that the bounds of society have a higher claim over your morality than your holy text does? I think it is, once again, this inescapable conclusion that you don't think these things are good. You don't feel that you should stone homosexuals. You don't feel you should stone adulteresses. And why bother not wearing clothing of two different fibers when it's just so wonderful? There's this gap between, in this case, what the Christian should do and what he actually does. And I'm more inclined to think that what he actually does is more in line with his own morality. He doesn't stone people because he thinks it's wrong. He wears clothing of two different fibers because he doesn't think it's wrong. So my question to you is, where do you get your morality from? Because if you don't get it from your holy texts, well, you could get it from direct revelation. That's a bit iffy, I think. Could be confused with intuitions. What's more, I think this puts you in the same boat as all of us. I think that you too have to study ethics and see where it leads to. If you can come up with a proper justification of why your intuitions are wrong, and why you should be following these rules given to you by direct revelation, then that's fine. But you can't simply just dismiss the whole study of ethics and accept your divine command theory on faith. Think about that and get back to me. Just as a footnote, I realize some people are going to say this is a straw man argument, but before you do that, and you actually do think this is a straw man argument, then this video isn't addressed to you, okay? If you consider your morality to be separate from your religious text and it to be a source of direct revelation that our intuitions are given to us by God, then you can safely ignore this video because that wasn't an argument I was even attempting to get any ground on.